So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
Hey guys, what's up? I thought it would be fun to do an old style vlog. Let's see if I have even more shoulder strength to hold up an even bigger rig, because today we have, I think I named this camera my Canon M50 Vincent, because I know I had Vlad, then Victor, or two Vlads, then a Victor. I think this is Vincent. I'll have to check, but a little bit heavier of a setup here. We have like a real camera, a real retractable lens and all that, but same old Tara. You guys have been feeling nostalgic. I've been hearing a lot of people say like, oh, I miss Tara just laying down and rambling. So today, with 20 minutes left before I have to check out of my hotel room and sit in the lobby until my boyfriend is done with a deposition across the street, and then get into an Uber, and then get on a flight, and then finally get home to see my fur babies, I am going to go ahead and see if I can make a vlog that is less than 20 minutes with me rambling like the old times. I'm also feeling pretty nostalgic of the old times, the uncut videos, the bigger audience where I would get a lot more feedback on my videos, and I'm ready to manifest that into existence, and not in like a woo-woo way, and like a putting in the effort and actually not self-sabotaging myself. Self-sabotaging myself. I don't like the way I phrased that. Whew, it's nice to be back. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about something that's been on my mind. I was going to do this video yesterday, but Hunter was on his way back, and I'm like, fuck, I've done a lot today anyway. That's what I was thinking yesterday. Today, not so much. Stomachache. But anyway, I know if you've been on my channel long enough, you've seen me rant about the people who constantly, every single year, either have New Year's resolutions that they completely don't do, and then they make a big deal out of them and then never do them, or the people who consistently say, since 2020 my life's been shit, or this has been the worst year of my life, or like 1 month into the year they start rambling on Instagram or something about how, oh great, this is already becoming the worst year of my life. You know how much I hate that kind of rhetoric, because I think what you think is actually what you breathe into existence, because your demeanor and your mood and everything, it's correlated by what you're thinking in your brain and what you're saying out loud to yourself. Similar to like, if you talk badly to yourself, you're going to think badly about yourself, and that's going to make you move in certain ways in the world where it's just not going to be favorable to success and happiness. You're going to be less happy because you're literally talking to yourself less happily, right? So I've always had that position where I don't like that kind of stuff, even as a joke. I know it's not as deep as I sometimes overthink and make it out to be, but I think so many people blame external circumstances or things they can't control for their mood, and then they give themselves permission to constantly be miserable, right? I think a lot of you guys who watch this channel agree with me on that. Well, this year, 2025, has actually, if I was going to look at it, objectively be one of the harder years of my life in terms of things that have happened kind of out of my control. And I was just reflecting on how I'm really happy that, like, even though I've had a lot of lows this year, oh my god, this is actually getting hard to hold, I'll have to switch hands. There we go. Even though I've had a lot of lows this year, I am proud of like how I've handled it. I've never once been like, oh my god, this is just gonna keep getting worse, and I just always, like, I have my lows, and I have my breakdowns, and I have my moments of feeling my feelings or whatever, but I never feel like, oh, 2025 is the worst year of my life. And I've had a lot go on. Like, I think you guys probably know if you're that big of a fan of me, but let's just go down the list of things. First of all, even starting last year, Hunter and I ended the year with the last 6 months being a lot of travel. Now, mind you, this was like travel that we had planned that we really wanted to do, but a lot of it required drinking. It required being outside of our routine and our comfort zones, and like falling behind on some goals that we have, like maybe fitness goals and stuff, because when you travel, your routine kind of gets fucked up. And we were just burnt out on that type of thing, even though they were mostly trips that we really wanted to do. There was some family stuff mixed in there or whatever, but it was too much. So we vowed that in the new year, even though there was snowboarding season and all this, we were going to take less trips. Bam! Our first trip of the year, which is the only trip we decided to do because we do it every year, and it's the only time he can get like a lot of time off to go snowboarding. Our New Year's trip, 3 days after New Year's, I get this crazy allergic reaction right after our trip, and I'm in the ICU for fucking 2 days, 31 hours, and then the night before as well. And I didn't know what was going on there, and I was very stressed, and I'm a panicker, and I'm a worrier, and I'm working on that. But like, it was really hard for me, and it doesn't sound like it's that hard because it's not like, I was in the ICU, but I wasn't actually dying, you know? And I'm grateful that I wasn't actually dying. But for months after that, I think 3 or 4 months after that, I was itchy every day. I was constantly worried that my face was getting puffy. I think I have like hundreds of pictures in my phone where I was literally like, is my like face getting puffy again? Because that was kind of the catalyst for what sent me to the ER. So I was like constantly kind of in this fear back burner on the like back of my mind was like, am I going to be in the ICU again? I don't know what this was. Is this going to change my life forever? And there was a lot of anxiety with that. And then on top of that, as I've told you guys before, like I have a really hard time doing my job, like being on, being sexy, being fun, being myself when I have this overarching anxiety or fear of something else going on in my life, you know? So I kind of need to be close-ish to baseline most of the time. And that was probably the longest and the most frequent I was off of baseline. On top of that, Hunter had this planned like thing to go with his friends. It's like a once a year thing and he didn't want to miss it. So I ended up pushing myself going to that. And I've been really realizing more and more lately, 6 months later, that I was so dysregulated. I should not have gone to anything. Like I was not prepared. Like in a good normal mindset where I'm working all the time and I'm caught up and I'm happy and I'm healthy. Like I'm down to go on like a trip with his friends that isn't really like my favorite thing, but you know, is nice to do once in a while. But I was so dysregulated that I just needed downtime. I needed to get back to myself. And I went on that trip. And then this whole year since Hunter, and once again, as I'm saying these things that have been hard to me, I instantly, my brain instantly thinks about the positives. Like I'm about to tell you how since the beginning of the year and maybe a little bit of last year, since Hunter has been a partner of his firm, he's had to deal with a lot more of the admin stuff and a lot more of the confusing stuff, and he's been a lot more busy and a lot more stressed. So therefore he hasn't been able to be there for me as much. And there's been a lot of work weekends where I didn't feel like I get to relax and decompress with him. And so I would push myself to try to get caught up on work because I was also behind on work because some days I don't feel good or some days I'm doing other things. And then all of that's happening. Last year I also lost my best friend, and that was like a crazy amount of money problems that happened around that time that I kicked my ass into gear and fucking worked through and then put behind me. But then this year, finally, I'm starting to not feel as itchy. I'm starting to feel more normal. I'm starting to be like, I'm Tara fucking Babcock, and I'm getting back at it. And Hunter has settled a few cases, and he's calming down. But what I was saying is, like, even as I was sorry, old Tara kicking in, tangents. What I was gonna say is, like, even as I'm telling you how Hunter has been more busy with his firm, I'm so grateful and so proud of him for just getting to that spot. It's so cool to be a partner in your own firm and to be working. Like, he doesn't do car crashes anymore and shit that like felt brain dead to him. He has like a niche that's much harder and is a lot more work, but it's fulfilling for him, and I am so proud of him for that. So oof, gonna get fucking teary-eyed about this. But anyway, so I think everything's finally getting back to normal and Hunter's settling some cases so he has a little more time. And then this thing with my cats drops on me, which I cannot tell you about, but it required, like, even though I'm, once again, so fucking grateful that I have them now, dude, I had to, like, overhaul the whole house within a couple weeks. I had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars that I wasn't making as much at that time because I was trying to get caught up from not working for a few weeks because of this, like, itchy thing and being behind and, like, right after a trip. And so I was feeling really behind and really stressed out, and I had to spend a time cleaning the house and building these things for the cats to be safe because we had, like, cat unsafe plants that we had to, like, buy a $600 fucking greenhouse for because there was no other real way to, like, keep them out. All of the, like, cheaper greenhouses, they could just, like, go under and stuff. And just a lot of stuff at once, on top of being like, dude, I have to fucking work. I have to make money. Like, I have to, like, do this stuff, you know, and I have to be on for it. So, like, a lot of days I would wake up and I would end up just doing manual labor on the house instead of doing the filming I had to do first because I, like, wasn't there mentally, you know? And then Hunter also has a lot of friends, and those friends want to see him. So even though it's, like, once or twice a month, though, like, being so dysregulated and so, like, not feeling like myself, it was really hard to get through those. And it was also really hard to, if I wanted to, like, stay home for those, and a lot of those were, like, weddings and things that I couldn't be, like, it's like couples shit, you know? I couldn't just, like, I could and I should have, and I'm going to start saying no to more things now now that I'm like learning more about myself. But once again, I'm seeing the silver lining. I force my brain to see the silver lining of, look, I'm learning more about myself and my needs, and I'm learning to say no so that this won't happen again. So I'm seeing this as a learning thing. So on top of having to get all this stuff ready for the cats, and we get the cats, Hunter has these deposition trips that are out of the this one's in Reno. I'm in Reno right now. And then the next one in 1 week is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we just got the cats in like 2 weeks ago. And then Eve, something happened with Eve. I don't remember. I'm blanking. Oh yeah, Eve had an eye infection when I got her. And fucking Widow, we found out the day I got her, has hyperthyroidism and needs medication twice a day, every day for the rest of her life. Right? So I'm navigating the cats even being in the house. Widow's feral, so she's obviously very stressed out. And like Eve's mischievous, and we're trying to like get into the equilibrium of having the cats in the house, and then they have like health problems at the moment, and then we have these trips, and it has been a lot, let me tell you. And then on top of that, I find out that I either have gastritis or an ulcer, probably from all the stress of all of this stuff piling up at once. And I am just like, yeah, I can objectively say that after like over the last like couple years, this is definitely the hardest part in my life. This last 6 months to even a year, like even sometime last year, it's been a little hard, but you know, extra hard since the allergy on the 4th of the fucking year. And I think most people would sit there and be like, oh my God, there's nothing I can do. This is just, the universe hates me. It's the worst. Like, just ruminate more in the fact that it's been a hard year, right? But I force myself, and I naturally see the bright sides to everything that's going on. Like, after the 8th, today is, I don't know, don't have that on my watch. I always look for the date on my watch. I think it's like the 25th or 26th of June. So after the 8th of June, I will have had my endoscopy to find out what's going on with my stomach for sure. I'm already on meds, and I already feel better, which I'm really happy about, because I don't know if you guys have ever had gastritis or an ulcer. I think I had one when I was little. But it's like intense burning pain in your stomach that's pretty debilitating. Like, I can't even take deep breaths sometimes. And it happens randomly, and more so later in the day. So I end up not being able to, like, if I put my work off at all, I end up not being able to work. And I have to drink a drink 4 times a day, an hour before I eat, but not 2 hours within the time that I take this fucking stomach inhibitor, a proton pump inhibitor, so I have less stomach acid, and you just wait a really long time and it goes away. But then there's also this H. pylori bacteria that they're going to check me for, which I probably have because I do ass to mouth, and like, so it's a lot. It is a lot. And trying to coordinate taking the cats to the vet like 4 times in the last week, plus Widow is feral and she freaks out if I try to take her. And then we had like the fucking NJA gala, which is like the lawyer prom. And on that day, I had to take Widow emergency to the vet because she had been throwing up randomly. I don't know why, maybe from the new medication. I don't know. But I had to take her on my own, and she freaked out, and I feel like she's scarred forever, and she's never going to love me again. And I came home that day right before I had to go get my hair done and put on a dress, crying. Just like crying. Because I was like, I can't do this, you know? And like, Hunter is not the greatest, especially when he's stressed himself, because this has been a lot for him too. He has a lot of shit going on with work, and he has a lot of shit going on with the cats, and he's such a great cat dad though, but like, oh my God, like, it has been a lot for both of us. And when he's not doing well, like, he's not like a big yet emotional intelligence guy, so he has a hard time like understanding and being there for me, but he tries. And it's very helpful that he tries, but it's not like I can fully lean on him. Not that I should either. But so, needless to say, it's been a lot. And it's actually kind of nice to vent about this. This morning, I woke up with really, really bad stomach pains from the gastritis, and it had been better, but probably eating when I'm on this trip or something. I did eat like an asshole kind of last night. And I was nauseated, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sleep until I have to check out of this room. I'm not gonna put makeup on. I'm just gonna shower real quick. And then after showering, I felt a little better after having a breakfast burrito and, you know, like taking it easy with my stomach. I feel better. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to film this. I'm going to get this off my chest, and I'm going to do this video that I wanted to do to let you guys know what's up in my life, and to also just tell you guys, this is a long-winded way of saying, like, I think I am positioned now from here on because of my more positive mindset and because of my more proactive way instead of reactive. Like, I definitely have my reactive moments, but like when I get past the emotional little outburst or thing, or like emotional, what's the word, like catharsis that I need to do, I'm very proactive. Like, I'm like, how can I do this better? How was this like my fault? And hopefully not too much of a like putting myself down way or like being too hard on myself. But yeah, I'm more proactive, and that is so much more, it's so much more productive and positive than just being like, well, the rest of this fucking year is gone. When is 2026 gonna start? Because I am having the worst year, and like I kind of am having the worst year, but like I'm trying to learn from that and make my life better because of it. Like right now, I have a fear of flying too, so like there was it was really bumpy going out and coming down from Vegas to Reno, and like going out, I was like, oh, dude, I get so close to panic attacks on flights. I'm like holding on to Hunter and like freaking out. I don't know where this came from. It wasn't always this way, and it's only taking off. Coming down, I rarely get afraid. In fact, like when we do the little like whoa, whoa, and the turbulence and all that, I'm like, haha, it's funny in my tummy, you know, I'm like a child. But like when we're going up, I'm like, oh my fucking god, we're gonna die. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the fact that I have to be on a flight and it's like the beginning of the flight and I'm just happy that it's ending at the end, so I'm not as scared. I don't know what it is, but like, so I deal with that, and I'm just thinking like, this is a chance to practice and get better at it, because you know, our goal is to move to Colorado at some point, and he'll have to keep coming back to Nevada to practice where his like law firm is and stuff. And I'm just so happy that we might have that chance in life to live our dreams, and I'm so happy that like there's so many goods as well, like Hunter being partner, Hunter settling a big ass case, like just the fact that Hunter's so like good at his job and so passionate about his job that we would fly to a deposition instead of doing it on Zoom, because he takes that much pride in his work, is gonna, you know, reward us tenfold down the line, even though it's a little hard sometimes. Like, I got so much work done yesterday because I was inspired in a different city with a different location. I really like this couch. You'll see it in a different video. And I liked the way the lighting looked, so I had like a bunch of really cool content with it. And I'm happy that instead of being afraid and staying home and just like dealing with the stress of worrying about the cats and all that, obviously I have Brittany, who they used to live with, taking care of them when I'm out of town and stuff. And I am so grateful for her. I'm grateful that I have a friend like that, someone else who cares that much about the cats. I'm just so grateful for so much, and I know that we'll get through this. And I'm just excited to get through this and take all of these new skills that I've learned and these new, I don't know, like I need to take time for myself. I have needs that like I'm not the kind of person that if I have a stressful week, I want to go out with the friends or I want to drink, because that feels like it's going away from my goals. Instead of me blowing off steam, I'm adding on more steam of like, okay, I didn't stick to my fitness goals. I didn't stick to my like not drinking goals. I'm like harming my body and all this stuff. So like that's not the mindset with which I need to go out and like have fun with friends. So if Hunter feels like he really needs that, I need to just not do that and like play video games with Red or something. I don't know. So yeah. That's why I think, because you know, like when they say when you criticize people, the shoulder, it's not the shoulder actually, it's like the wrist. I have a very weak wrist. There's some like cast iron pans that we have at the house that I cannot lift solely because my wrist just goes like it's tiny. It's a tiny ass wrist. I have a small frame for my small frame. But anyway, what was I saying? This really is retro Tara at the moment, you know? See, I did the half-assed makeup, but I showed up for myself. I didn't self-sabotage and be lazy and then feel bad later. I actually took the time to be like, hey, I have this extra time. Like, why don't I fucking do this? I feel a little better. Hell yeah. If I'm feeling better, why would I not put on the makeup? Why would I be like a lazy slob or whatever? I don't know what I was going to say, but I felt like it was important. So now I'm mad that I don't remember. Shit, man, I'd have to like go back and watch it. Okay, so there's probably going to be an editing Tara clip in here. after I go back and watch it with whatever thought I had that slipped my mind right now. Okay, I have checked out of the hotel and I got my fucking charger. This is pre-editing Tara here, by the way. So I got the charger for my batteries and I put one of them in, and I think I broke my camera with the battery because it's like a not Canon battery. I don't know. So more drama. I have to stay here for 3 hours until we can go to the airport in a rush because, you know, but I'm feeling all right. I'm actually feeling okay. And I did remember what I was going to tell you guys. So I'm recording this on my phone and putting it into the video, which I'm probably going to edit right now after I get on stream because I was supposed to stream today. Whew. All right. Anyway, so what I was trying to say before was that, or what I was going to say before is that I think that's why I'm so hard on people who do that shit on their social media where they're just like putting down the entire year or being negative and all that. And it's because I put so much effort to not do that, and I know how much reward you get from not doing that, that it pisses me off to see other people doing it. So they always say when you get pissed off by someone or triggered by someone, it's, you know, a reflection of you. And I don't always think it's a reflection of you projecting. It's just kind of like me projecting onto them my own saying don't do that because it's bad for you. You know what I mean? It's like a big sister, big brother kind of thing. It's not so much like, oh, I'm an alcoholic, so I hate alcoholics. You know, it's like I'm someone who puts so much effort because I know the reward into that it bothers me when other people don't, kind of thing. But it is, in essence, about me more than it is about the person I'm criticizing because they can do whatever. Maybe it works better for them to be negative. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I remember now. Back to the rest of the video, which is pretty much ending. Enjoy. I am excited to take all of the stuff that I'm learning through this really, really hard time and the remembrance of the really, really hard time to compare to the good time that's to come. And I'm positive that, you know, things are going to resolve and I'm learning better coping skills than just like overly worrying. And I have a partner who is like the yin to my yang and like teaches me these things that reinforces these things that I'm not that good at, like not worrying, and then I can reinforce some of the stuff that he's not really good at, like, you know, patience and like being in touch with your emotions and all that dumb crap, you know. And yeah, so even though it's been stressful and hard even today, you know, I'm just so, I feel blessed that I have the mindset to be able to feel blessed when it's this rough, you know what I mean? All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I will see you guys soon. I actually have to check out. I'm late checking out, so we're gonna do that. And my camera's dying, so I will see you guys really soon. Bye. Let me know if you want more of these old Tara style vlogs.